Greetings, I am Pillar Nexus, the Ancient Gladiator. Today with a special series that I'm going to be starting from here on. I'm going to be talking about the Board Game League, because, you know what? Why not? Let's have some fun with this. So this is the first week of our new league, and the first game we got to play is called Downforce. I do not own a copy of this game, but you can kind of get the idea across creatively. So it's in part a racing game, but it's also a betting game as well. So the track itself will be like divided into spaces anywhere from like 1 to 4 spaces wide, and you'll have various vehicles that players will start out with. For crying out loud. At the start of the game, you'll have a hand of cards, and you'll have to my fucking bet on or bid for those cars. There's 6 colors of cars. Black, but I'm using dark right here just for the sake of the picture. Red, green, orange, blue, and yellow. So what you'll do at the start of the game is look at your hand of cards, and they'll have anywhere from like 1 to all 6 colors on them. It'll be like, let's say, red 6, green 4, yellow 2, and black 1. Or in some cases, it might have wild. You want to take a good hard look at your hand of cards to see how well you can maneuver the car if you were to get it, and then play a card accordingly. The value that corresponds to the color you're bidding on is what you put towards your auction total as a negative. It's possible with fewer than 6 players to own more than one car, but as soon as the possibility is locked in that would make it that everybody would need a car, you can't bid on it anymore. As far as available cars that are left would make it possible. So it's like we're playing a 5-player game, and everybody can get like one car at least. But as soon as someone has 2 cars, no one that already has a car can bid on another one. But yeah, the player who pays the highest will get it, and then the next car will be revealed. Now the thing is, with each car that gets revealed, it'll come with that power on this blue card. It'll be something like, if you move in only rectangular spaces, you get to move 2 more. Yeah, special power card. I'm gonna use a star just for the heck of it. I don't know. Or you can ignore one color on a card with all 6 colors. Things like that. But the thing is, if you get multiple cards, you can only keep 1 power. So everyone will have their cards that they bid on. And then when you win a card, you'll get a special 8 card for that card specifically to move them 8 spaces once. Each of your cards in hand can only be used once during the game for the actual game proper. You can potentially use the same card for the auction. The more unique cards you show your opponents during the auction, the more they know about your hand. So keep that in mind. Although sometimes people don't really pay that much attention. You never know. So the game proper will start with whichever cars occupying the pole position on the track. The player who has that card plays first. They play a card, they resolve all the stuff. At the end of a... where'd the line go? There we go. At the end of the turn, if any card has crossed the first yellow line, the first betting phase happens. Then the second yellow line, second betting phase, and third. What will happen is during this betting phases, you'll pick 1 card. If it gets anywhere in the top third at the end of the game, which is when it crosses, the finish line. And depending on how well it did, you'll get that much from it for the bet. The early betting is worth a lot if you get first, if that car gets first. The later betting, it's worth less. And then there's actually getting money for finishing. The racing payouts pay very well for first, and then it just starts dropping from there until 6th place gets 0. It's also possible that due to the way the cards are played, because if part of the strategy is cards can get stuck at like choke points that they just can't move through. If there's a card in front of you, and you need to move, you just can't. It's entirely possible that enough stalling happens that some of the cards in the back just can't get past the finish line. But yeah, you can be just straight up mean with this game, and yeah, ultimately, if you can get your own card to take first, that's that's going to be a decent money maker for you. There's also, but if you're betting on someone else who you think might actually do well enough, and you've got the cards to make it happen, you might also make use of the betting to do well as well. Because if you can bet on one person or one car and they take first, then it's a gigantic bonus. But you kind of want your car to do as well, to do well as well. Part of the strategy is you really want to keep your cards close to your chest and not let people realize what you're capable of. Because if you can keep people guessing, then they're not going to know who to bid on until it's too late. But if you know what you're holding, you can make use of that knowledge. In a way, it kind of reminds me of Acquire to that end, knowing what's going to grow and picking up shares of stuff to that end. Yeah, once all the cards have crossed the finish line, everyone's out of cards. It's You figure out how well you did on the racing total. You combine all your cars. Like if you have two cars and they took first and second, then you combine both values together. And then you add in your betting total for who you bet on and how well they did. Again, if you like bid on someone and they did consistently, first, then that's a lot. And then you subtract what you paid for the auction, and then that final is what you get. So yeah. Yeah, it's racing plus bet minus auction equals your final score. And the highest score wins the game. One of the things we did for the league game today is we played 3 games and then totaled all of it, because I did pretty well the first game. I did kind of middle in the second game, and then I got my ass handed to me in the last one. And then another player who did fairly consistently and decently, they actually wound up winning. So what do I like about this game? It's not crazy to figure out like freaking Formula D. It's got room to mess with people, but at the same time, it's a fairly decent chance of doing all right. It's just quick and it's fun, and that's kind of what we need for the league in terms of having games. So, if you ever find a copy of Downforce, do check it out. Do play it. For anyone who's never really played board games much, it gets a recommend for those who are kind of new to checking things out, and maybe they'll actually enjoy it. We need more enjoyable games for sure. So yep, week 1 of Board Game League, and I will be staying with this until I'll be staying with this project through the end of this league at least. I might also keep it going as just a regular feature. So look forward to the next episode. Thanks for watching. This has been Pillar Nexus. See you next time.